And welcome to week 6. For week 6, you're going to start with the overview. You've got an article here that's a little bit longer, but it gets you into the concept of visual rhetoric and what digital writing, what types of strategies creators of visual or digital writing pull to engage their audience. They make rhetorical decisions, but often those rhetorical decisions are more about the design of how it looks. So then I encourage you to look through the design videos. If you open up the document, the link in this to the beginning graphic design series, what you're going to see is a series of videos that are embedded. They talk you through, the 5 basic principles, things like proximity, how much white space and how it's used, alignment, contrast, repetition, and then it gives you even more information in each of those portions. But to get to the additional videos, what happens is you'll scroll through. You can see it's not a lot to read, it's a lot to take in visually, but the first part talked about typography, about color, then you continue and you'll move on to images, the fundamentals of design, but you're going to need to continue one more time. So once you read through, look through, and kind of take in the layout and composition, the fundamentals of design, you're going to go to the last part of it. So, like I said, I would take in what it's showing you visually and what's explained, but also the videos are relatively short and it gives you an idea of what designers use and consider as they build out some kind of a visual display, whether it's a static one, whether it's a video, whether it's something like an infographic like we looked at before. All right, so then as you get back into, you've covered those, you've got some time this week to really look through that and to get an idea about visual rhetoric. You're going to, for discussion forum number 6, analyze this video. This is America, and you're going to obviously first watch the video, but then you're going to choose 2 of the points listed below. And now that you've done the reading, you've thought a lot about what goes into a digital composition or a visual composition. You can choose different aspects to analyze. You just have to pick 2 of them. But if you pick something like theme and message, you've got a question that's going to help you, focus in on that. If you consider the visual elements, you'll consider things like cinematography, editing, lighting and color, setting and props, performance, and it targets artists' actions and expressions, choreography, and you can read through the rest of the list, but ultimately you're going to pick 2 of these big categories and dig in. And you're going to respond in that, each one's going to be a separate paragraph. So you're going to post your initial analysis of the music video by Thursday, and then by Saturday, you're going to reply to 2 of your classmates, and you really want to think about whether you agree or disagree with your classmates' assessment, and use pieces from the music video itself to back up your kind of overarching assessment of that person's response. If you agree with it, what are some of the things that you saw that support that same assessment of, let's just say, for example, narrative structure and context. And then you'll do that for another classmate. Those 2 responses are due by Saturday. All right, so that's one of your assignments. Your next assignment for this week is the genre analysis. That's due by Sunday. And you have 2 options for this assignment. You can either analyze an image of your choosing, and you can do things like movie posters, book covers. But as a visual analysis, you're going to discuss the formal elements of the image. But you want to think about, what overarchingly, does the image, what are you arguing for about the image? How did the artist, set it up in a way that maybe conveyed a specific message? And then you can pick apart the elements that do that. Or you can do a music video, and the video is, of course, something that you'll find interesting, and you'll want to think about how maybe the video represents the song or the artists. But I've also linked a resource that will be helpful as you consider which aspects to analyze as you develop the paper. And when you click on that, you can think of things like organization and placement as something to analyze, style, content, the source, and of course there are other things that you can consider. You can consider the rhetorical situation, things like audience, purpose, the writer, as we talked about before. In this case, the creator, the medium, the genre. So kind of think about which aspects you would like to focus in on as you write this genre analysis. But of course, using it to overarchingly say, it's just like a rhetorical analysis before. Were the choices that the creator of this image or video, were the choices that they made effective? Did they convey the message? Did they engage the audience? Whatever it is that you're arguing for, you'll want to kind of keep that at the forefront of your mind. All right, 750 words. It's worth 75 points, not 750. And you've got your rubric below. So if you have questions about that assignment, just let me know, or the discussion forum. And finally, for your journal this week, I want you to consider the differences between reading text and reading visuals. Are there pros and cons for you as a reader? Do you prefer one modality over the other? What about composing? Are there things that you can do with text that you can't do with visuals, or vice versa? And then, just kind of think about how visual design, how does visual design impact how we read text and interact with genres? So I want you to just kind of think through everything we've done, really starting from the infographic all the way into this week, because we're looking at composition in a new way. What are your takeaways? Again, going back to those questions, what are the differences? Are there pros and cons? Is there something that, as a writer, you would, choose as one medium over another? All right, and as usual, this is only a paragraph response, but you want to make sure you meet the expectations in the rubric. If you have questions about week 6, just let me know.